Hi, it's Katrina. From a big spiny porcupine to a pair of barbecue tongs and more, here are the 10 craziest things ever found inside snakes. Number 10. A pair of light bulbs. Not the normal meal you would expect from a hungry serpent, and yet AP News reported that in Gainesville, Florida, in the summer of 1986, a hungry snake swallowed not just one, but two 15-watt light bulbs from a local couple's property. The couple found the snake slithering across their yard with two massive lumps bulging underneath its skin, as if it were about to have twins. One look and the couple knew exactly what had happened, as they often threw the burnt-out light bulbs from their chicken coop into their yard, and they assumed the snake must have mistook the dead bulbs as chicken eggs ready to be swallowed whole. Just as a side note, you probably shouldn't be just throwing used light bulbs all over the place. The good news, at least for the snake, is that the lovely couple were humane enough to pick it up and take it on a journey from their yard to the Santa Fe Community College. Professors and students were intrigued by the snake situation and nicknamed it GE after General Electric. From there, it was taken to the University of Florida, where the bulbs were removed during a 45-minute surgery. Now that's one lucky snake. Elliot Jacobson, a wildlife medicine specialist at the University of Florida, said, "I would say that for the first 24 hours, he would have been okay because snakes are used to swallowing large objects and the bulbs are smooth. But the bulbs were 3 times the size of the snake's head and eventually would have killed it because the bulbs were too large to regurgitate." After its recovery, the snake was released back into the wild. Number 9. Spiky Porcupine. We've all heard the expression before about eating yourself to death. Well, that's exactly what happened in South Africa when a giant python decided it could take on a full-sized porcupine that weighed 30 pounds. That's one big porcupine. And while these voracious snakes are known to swallow animals way bigger than a mere porcupine, such as an antelope, this was an unfortunate case of the snake biting off a bit more than it could chew. Quills from the porcupine got stuck inside the poor snake as it tried to regurgitate the porcupine. An employee of the game reserve told local news that she believed the snake tried to regurgitate the porcupine because too many people were watching it eat. Talk about camera shy. In any case, the python died 6 days after swallowing the porcupine. The massive critter still jammed in its belly with its quills piercing into the snake's internals. It's actually a pretty sad story for the snake and the porcupine. Number 8. An adorable teddy bear. In March of 2016, an Australian family living in Queensland were given the shock of a lifetime when a massive, almost 7-foot-long python came moseying across their backyard. Naturally, the family evacuated immediately with their pet dog and went for help. In the midst of such a chaotic evacuation, the poor dog's teddy bear was left behind. Seeing as the dog toy was soaked in saliva, the python proceeded to mistake it for easy prey. According to the Telegraph, after a local snake catcher wrangled the python and brought it in for medical attention, an X-ray scan confirmed that the snake had indeed swallowed the defenseless teddy bear. The good people of Australia were kind enough to give the python an emergency operation in which the teddy bear was extracted from the bowels of the snake and returned to its dog owner. Not only that, but the python was also saved. 15 stitches later, and the reptile was back in the wild, sliding around looking for its next teddy bear victim. Has a snake ever entered your house? Let me know in the comments below. Number 7. An electric blanket. In the town of Ketchum in Idaho, there was once a slithering celebrity by the name of Houdini. Houdini was a Burmese python measuring 12 feet in length and was fairly docile for a massive snake. Houdini was kept by a lover of serpentine reptiles by the name of Carl Beznoska. In 2006, Carl noticed that his snake friend was looking a little bloated. At the same time, Carl also noticed that the large electric blanket that had been heating Houdini's enclosure was mysteriously gone. Could these two things possibly be connected? Upon visiting the veterinarian, an X-ray showed that the hungry python had eaten his queen-size electric blanket. But not just the blanket, the control box and the cord too. Carl figured the snake must have mistaken the heated blanket as something with warm blood and decided to have a bit of a snack. Luckily, a quick operation and an 18-inch incision were able to save the snake and retrieve the massive heated blanket from Houdini's belly. It looks like Houdini won't be performing any more disappearing acts anytime soon, unless it's a mouse. And now for number 6. But first, big shout out to Ronnie Hujhovd and Roman. Thanks so much for all the love. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and join the Origins Explained family. Number 6. Golf balls. This actually happens more often than you might expect. The problem is that chicken breeders often use golf balls instead of ceramic eggs in their chicken coops. While this in itself is okay, it presents quite an issue for wild snakes with an insatiable hunger for chicken eggs. They simply cannot discern the difference between a dimpled golf ball and a bird egg. There were two famous incidents back in 2012, one in South Carolina and another in Australia, both in which hungry snakes swallowed golf balls. It's a regular occurrence. In South Carolina was an overzealous rat snake who was rushed to the veterinarian after eating a farmer's golf ball. Rat snakes only bite when they have to. When they feel in danger, they release a stinky smell. They are great climbers and they feed primarily on rodents, birds, and eggs, making chicken eggs and golf balls the perfect target. In Australia, it was a carpet python who also was rushed to the veterinarian after it swallowed not one golf ball but two. Pythons usually grow around 16 to 25 feet long. They are some of nature's most incredible predators. To eat, they do not unhinge their jaws, but their jaws rest on a multi-hinged joint that provides for great flexibility to devour large prey. Farmers have learned that a snake who swallowed a golf ball won't be bothering their chicken coop much longer. Sometimes they can't even get out of the chicken coop after swallowing a golf ball, and even if they can, they probably won't be swallowing anything else. Number 5. Barbecue tongs. Nothing is weirder than the x-ray taken of poor Winston the python after deciding to go ahead and swallow a pair of barbecue tongs. What a strange image. I don't think a pair of tongs in the belly is very comfortable. It happened in the city of Adelaide in Australia in 2015. A man was feeding his python, Winston, a delicious rat treat when things got a little crazy, and Winston lashed his jaws onto the feeding tongs. See, he wasn't actually at the barbecue. Winston's owner tried to get the tongs back, but Winston simply would not give them up. The owner decided to leave the tongs lying in the cage instead of fighting, assuming that Winston wouldn't eat them. Obviously, that assumption was wrong. Winston not only ate the tongs, but he swallowed them all the way into his belly along with the rat. At least he didn't eat his owner. A trip to the local veterinarian was successful, and CNN reported that Winston the python went on to make a full recovery after the tongs were surgically removed from his digestive system. Let's bet his owner is going to be a little more careful in future feedings. Have you ever had a pet snake? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4. Beach towel. Recently in Australia, are you sensing a theme here? The continent of snakes, a young serpent by the name of Monty somehow managed to swallow an entire beach towel. Daniel's family was chilling in the yard when they noticed Monty the jungle python was acting strange and its body was bigger than usual. Quickly they noticed that a towel which was laid on the ground wasn't there anymore. Monty was quickly taken to a special animal hospital for treatment. The snake has been living with the family for over 16 years, so they were pretty worried. It was a good thing the snake's family acted so quickly, as without the procedure that removed the beach towel, Monty surely would have perished. I'm positive snakes are not supposed to eat beach towels. I don't think they digest very well. After an endoscope was placed inside the snake's gastrointestinal tract, the doctors were able to safely remove the towel by yanking it out bit by bit like some shoddy magician's endless scarf trick. After the successful procedure, Monty was able to live happily ever after back with his family. Number 3. An adult woman. This one is a bit scary, but sometimes it happens, but I just want to make sure to warn you ahead of time in case you want to skip to number 2. In 2018, an Indonesian woman went missing while checking on her personal vegetable garden in the Sulawesi province. According to the BBC, a large search party was formed to try and find the woman. A day later, her sandals and machete were found. But what had happened to her? Why did she disappear? Bad news is that also found was a giant python with a huge swollen belly about 30 meters away from the woman's discarded sandals. I bet you know what comes next. The villagers were obviously very suspicious of the fattened snake sitting so casually by the woman's abandoned property, and so they killed the snake and, like the big bad wolf, cut it open to see what was inside. Sure enough, there was the woman's oddly well-preserved body nestled inside of the snake's belly. The human-eating snake is believed to have been a powerful reticulated python, the likes of which can reach incredible lengths of more than 32 feet long. Remember, they kill their prey by wrapping and crushing, basically a giant bear hug, until the victim, in this case the poor woman, was squeezed to the point of suffocation. Number 2. Snake on snake. Scientists discovered a new species of snake unlike anything the world had seen before back in the 70s. This was no ordinary serpent. It was not found slithering through the forests of tropical Mexico or hanging from a tree in the Amazon jungle. This new creature, proudly named Synaspis enigma, was found inside the belly of a Central American coral snake. According to National Geographic, the new breed of snake is one of the most elusive ever, as no living specimen has been found to date. They have been stealthily evading detection for over 40 years. Scientists think the snakes burrow underground, and so nobody has ever stumbled upon one in the dense forests of Mexico's Chiapas state. It is a miracle that the first one was found at all inside the belly of the coral snake back in 1976. Who knows if scientists will ever find another one of these mysterious snakes, unless maybe it turns up inside another coral snake's belly. Number 1. Snake in the belly? This time it's not what was found in a snake's belly, but what snake was found in a human belly. This story comes straight from the New York Times, first published in July of 1864. The article goes on to say that a woman suffered 4 years of pain and difficulty with her stomach. During those 4 years, no physicians were able to deduce what her ailment was. Then it became painfully obvious. Physicians realized that there was a snake living inside of the woman's stomach. It had grown so large that it pushed against the wall of her stomach as if she were pregnant. When physicians pushed on the lump, the snake inside the woman's belly recoiled and thrashed around inside her stomach. Apparently, whenever there was food being cooked, the snake would slither up the woman's throat, causing her to be strangled. What's really confusing is that there is no ultimate conclusion to the story. The New York Times article is from 1864, and there is no follow-up. The last thing we know is that the woman was 35 years old and in feeble health. Do you think this story is true? Let me know in the comments below. Doesn't seem like it to me. Thanks for watching. Hope this wasn't too creepy for you. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!